Hi, I'm Ryan Hunter, and this is Kalispell Connections, a program where I interview local community leaders about issues important to the community. And with me today is Laura Gardner, the manager at Job Service in Kalispell. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining me. First question, kind of a broad question, but obviously with the pandemic, a lot of folks were, became unemployed, so many of them for the first time. This was nationwide, and obviously we felt it here locally. What's been your experience at the job service in terms of the surge of folks applying for unemployment locally?
Well, as soon as COVID hit, we were super busy with people filing unemployment claims, and unemployment really is meant to help people get by, give them relief during hardship when they're lost their jobs or get cut back on their hours. So unfortunately, because so many people were filing all at the same time, it was super busy for unemployment insurance in Helena that handles all of the unemployment. But then also for us here at Job Service, we were trying to help field some of those questions, help people get access into the system, answer some of the basic questions about how the process works. So it's been pretty busy here in our office trying to assist folks. Luckily, it's looking like it's getting better. There's jobs opening up, people going back to work. So it's slowing down with the unemployment. So that's good news.
Was there a challenge there with in terms of processing those applications in the beginning, and you kind of caught up with them? Has that been the experience?
All right. In the beginning, the unemployment computer system actually crashed because it couldn't handle the load, and the IT folks worked around the clock to try and get those systems back up and running, and they did fairly quickly. The unemployment phone number where people were calling with basic questions and how to file and all of that was busy, and people were having a hard time getting through. It's still super busy trying to get through to that. Persistence pays off. People can get through to that phone number, and people are getting through to that phone number a couple times a day, but they just have to be patient and continue to hang up and redial to get through to there. And if they can't get through, they certainly can call us here at Job Service. We're not unemployment insurance, but we can answer some of the basic questions and point them to the claimant handbook that's online that answers a lot of the questions that a lot of folks have and how the process works. So we're able to assist with those types of things.
So what are the services you're providing folks now as we're transitioning into more jobs coming back online, and who's eligible for those services?
Well, anybody's eligible for the services that we provide here at Job Service. We are a state agency, part of the Department of Labor and Industry, so our services are all free. Trying to help those that are unemployed and any job seeker being able to look for work. So we do things like help folks with updating their resume, or if they've never done a resume, doing those resumes with them, getting those skills, making sure that they can be competitive with the labor market when they're applying for jobs, rise to the top when those employers are looking at those. We also have mock interviews that we can do with folks to try and get them comfortable with interview questions and be ready when they're doing those interviews with employers. We do help people with online applications. A lot of folks have issues with technology, passwords, emails, all that kind of thing, so we can help step them through those. And then we also are a resource to our business community. So when an employer is looking to hire, or an employer has questions about reopening, wage and hour laws, human rights, how they can do their screening process, we can help employers with all of those things as well.
What's the most common question you've received from folks during this time about job availability or the unemployment? What's the most common question you've fielded?
Probably the most common question is, where's my unemployment check, or when can I expect my unemployment check? Because it's been so brand new to so many people that have never filed for unemployment ever in their life, and they don't know what to expect. The other complication with that is there's the regular unemployment that we have had for years that employers pay taxes in on, and when people get laid off from their jobs, they're eligible to file those unemployment claims. But with the COVID And with all of the CARES Act, they passed the pandemic unemployment and the emergency unemployment. So folks were eligible that weren't typically eligible for unemployment in the past. So self-employed folks, independent contractors that don't pay into unemployment insurance were eligible for these emergency unemployment benefits. So it was confusing for folks to know, do I go to regular unemployment? Do I go to the pandemic unemployment? Those are questions that people can call us and we can step them through the process, try and figure out where their wages were last year and which system they should start with before they go to the other one, so it doesn't stop them up.
Now, a lot of folks who are unemployed. They're now being offered maybe reduced hours to come back to work, not full time, and they're wondering how does that play with their unemployment benefits? Are they still eligible? Help folks understand that in terms of that ability to go back to work and the unemployment benefits and kind of what that looks like.
Yeah, that's a good question. So basically, people are eligible for unemployment in any week that they work less than their normal hours. So say their normal hours are 40 hours a week, as long as they're working less than that 40 hours a week and earning less than twice whatever their weekly unemployment check would be. So not counting that $600, say their unemployment normally would be $300 a week. As long as they're earning less than twice that $300 or the $600 and working less than their normal hours, less than 40, then they can receive partial unemployment benefits. And on the unemployment website, there is a partial benefits calculator that folks can go in, put in what their unemployment check is, what their wage would be or what their earnings would be for that week, and they would get an idea of what their partial unemployment check would be for those weeks. So they can continue filing those partial benefits until they're back to their normal hours. One thing folks really need to watch is anytime they go 2 weeks in a row of those items, either they've worked and earned too much money over twice their weekly benefit check, or have worked over their normal hours, or their normal hours or more, or if they say, no, I don't want to claim for a week, any of those 2 weeks in a row closes the unemployment claim. So the thing they need to remember is if my hours are reduced again, I have to go in that week that they were reduced and reopen that unemployment claim. Some people get confused and they wait till the week's over because they're used to answering questions for the previous week to claim, but they can't claim on a closed claim. So they have to go in and reopen it.
Now, this enhanced unemployment benefits, the $600 a week that Congress passed with the CARES Act. I know there's been a lot of discussion about how there's concern that's preventing people going back to work. And I'm wondering, in your experience, on both sides of that equation, have you seen the benefits provided to allow families to weather this economic storm? But also, have you seen any evidence of that where folks may not be looking to return to work because of the value of those benefits?
And the $600 was passed to try and help those folks that may not be eligible for a very big amount of unemployment each week. And in some states, their weekly unemployment amounts are very low. So the intent was to add that $600 to help those folks continue to be able to buy groceries, pay their rent or their mortgage, and be able to get by during this time of COVID-19. So the intent behind the $600 was a good intent. Unfortunately, those benefits are going to be ending soon. The last pays on those will be July 25th. So people that are used to getting that $600, that is going to be coming to an end at the end of July. And right now is a really good time to be looking for work. There's a lot of jobs out there. There's a lot of employers hiring. We're getting back to where we were pre-COVID, where a lot of employers are pretty desperate to find workers. So now is a good time to be looking for work before everybody runs out of that $600 and there's more competition for the jobs out there.
Now, you had mentioned before we started the interview that you have seen some surge in fraud cases. Is that the case? And kind of what have you been seeing there?
Yeah, and unfortunately, every state has seen an increase in fraud with the focus on unemployment insurance. We've always had fraud in every aspect of our lives, but with the focus on if they can get somebody's identity, know their social security number, they can go in and file unemployment and potentially draw checks against people. So what we're advising is if anybody suspects, thinks if they get letters in the mail that ask to verify their identity, or they just suspect that somebody may have filed unemployment against them, on our website, on the unemployment insurance website, there is a report fraud, and they want to go in right away and fill out that information so it can be investigated.
And still, despite whatever surge, it's still a fairly small, I would assume, percentage of overall unemployment claims.
We've prevented over 221 or 220 million in fraudulent UI payments since April 28th. So it's a pretty big amount. They've caught a lot of them, but with all of those, there could be some that have gone through. There's things that they watch for to see if it might be out of country filing for the unemployment claim. So there's triggers they look for that will automatically stop unemployment until it's investigated. So sometimes innocent people get caught up in that, but it's part of the safeguards to make sure that people aren't fraudulently drawing the unemployment checks.
Well, in terms of folks going back to work, if they have questions, they're looking for assistance with that process, or they have questions about the unemployment and what that looks like moving forward, what's the best source of information for getting that through you, the website, phone number? What would you recommend for folks to get more information?
Right, whatever works best. They certainly can call us here at Job Service. Our main number is 406-758-6200. We can sometimes answer those questions or point them in the right direction, so they certainly can feel free to call us. There's a lot of good information. If people have actually filed unemployment, they continue to improve the dashboard on the individual's unemployment claims, so they can go into their dashboard and see a lot of information when their unemployment checks were released, the amount, if there's any issues, so that can answer a lot of their questions. The website also has the claimant handbook that I talked about earlier, and it has a lot of really good information. It's really important for folks to read that claimant handbook and understand all the ins and outs of unemployment. But anytime they have a question, they certainly can feel free to reach out to us. If it's about jobs, looking for work, definitely reach out to us. We can help with those things. Tomorrow we're starting our first online job fair. So the last Wednesday of every month, we plan to have a lineup of 6 to 7 employers that are going to be doing a presentation on their current openings, how to apply for them, their company culture. So trying to come up with ways, even during social distancing and phase 2, to try and help those employers and job seekers get connected.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Laura, for providing us with that information. I appreciate you coming on the program to talk about it.
Great. Thanks for your time. Thanks for all the work you're doing.
All right. Thank you.